What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, definitely hit that little subscription button down below, and if you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. But today I'm going to be talking about 3 mistakes you guys should be avoiding when you go and buy your phones locally. So with that said, let's get into the video. So the first mistake that I have seen a lot of newbies make is that they don't meet at a carrier store. And this still applies to whether you're a newbie, intermediate, or like an advanced reseller. Whether you like it or not, you should be meeting at a carrier store most of the time, especially if a phone isn't necessarily looking like exactly like the perfect kind of transaction. If it might be a little sketchy, or you're not too sure like what they mean if something's wrong with the phone, but you still want to check it out and make a profit on, meeting at a carrier store is always the best option. As you guys know, like, I'm starting to resell Android phones, so I obviously don't know a lot about them. They're all kind of different in terms of like how you get to their settings, how to find the IMEI. So what I always like to do is meet at a carrier store, and there's 2 reasons why you guys should be doing that. First, it prevents anyone necessarily trying to scam you. I can almost guarantee there's probably like a 95% success rate with phones that are met at a carrier store and sign that bill of sales. The person that's agreeing to meet at a carrier store, you have to think about it logically. It's probably somebody not trying to scam you. If they're willing to meet at a public location, especially at a carrier store, because they don't necessarily know what we're going to be doing with the phone, but if they're smart enough, they recognize that we're going to be checking the phone with people that actually know a bunch about the phone in their heads, because obviously they work at the carrier store. So anybody trying to scam you is probably not going to be able to meet at that location. So that's a great perk about meeting at a carrier store. And 2, you're able to check if that phone is truly blocked. If we're going to carrier store, we should be able to use it not only for that, but to be able to make sure that the phone is legitimate. And when they put in the IMEI, they can't necessarily check if the phone has an account balance, but they're able to check if the phone is blocked in their system. And yes, we use like IMEI, like .pro and Swappa to check those, but checking them at those carrier store, putting the IMEI into their system is the most updated version of like the phone like condition on the back end, like with the IMEI. So having the phone checking the IMEI through the local carrier store is going to benefit you greatly. IMEI and Swappa sometimes have a delay in their system, so things that might be bad with the phone won't appear like 24 to 48 hours until it actually happens. So definitely something to keep in mind. So the second point kind of is a tangent of the first point, in that after you have the person at that local carrier store check the IMEI, that doesn't mean there isn't something wrong with the phone. There still is the potential the phone can be like not paid off, finance, whatever it may be. There still could be other things wrong with the phone. So obviously we have to do our normal check with that. But the second point is truly checking the IMEI even though you're checking a carrier store. That's a mistake I see a lot of people make. They think they could just go to the carrier store and they're all good. Obviously they still check the condition, which is good and everything, but they don't just check and see if there's like an account balance on it. And the way you guys can do that is, if you're going, there's a couple different websites you guys can use, but if you're going to like a Verizon store, type in like Verizon IMEI into Google, you'll see like Verizon BYOD, which is like bring your own device. You just put in the IMEI and then you'll be able to check if there's an account balance on it. Same for like T-Mobile, they have a verify like online check to see if there's an account balance. And if there is, it'll come up in red saying like there's still an account balance due on the phone. It won't tell you how much, but it'll tell you, and if it's not, it'll just say like it's ready to be activated. For Sprint, you use the website ting.com, and I'll be linking all these websites below so you guys can go and directly click on them. But if you're not doing this, which I know a lot of you aren't, because you've had troubles going to carrier stores with the phone still going bad, and if you do have the bill of sale, this will protect you, but obviously you don't want that to happen because there's a lot of hassle. But by the time you recognize that, most of the phones you would have sold are probably already sold on eBay, so then you have to get the phone sold back, return, and it just looks bad on you. So there's basically 2 parts you need to make, like go to the carrier store but also check through these local carrier sites. Is a mistake I know a lot of you guys won't make after watching this video, but again, it's definitely something that will help you in the long run. So the third point is something I like to bring up. I've talked about it in other videos, but I continuously see a lot of people make the mistake, and that is not walking away from a deal. And this is something that I made the mistake of a lot in the beginning. Once you're meeting with somebody, there's a lot of pressure there. They're expecting you to buy the phone, and a lot of times, especially with more of like the sketchy customer base, they kind of like will try to rattle you in a sense that they say like you need to buy this phone, when in reality you have no legal obligation to buy this phone. I trust my gut a lot in this industry, and that's something I know a lot. It takes time, but I know a lot of you should take into consideration. You'll get that over time, that confidence to trust your gut. But this is a gut-driven kind of industry. I mean, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So if we see something where the phone like just isn't like adding up to our standards, there's just something there, like maybe the touchscreen, you notice a couple times it wasn't working, or the IMEI was clean on one website but it wasn't on the other, it's okay to walk away from a deal. There's always phones being bought and sold every single day, and you don't want to get yourself caught in a situation where you have a phone that truly like just doesn't add up. And most likely when there's something skeptical, 99% of the time that I've not trusted my gut, something has gone wrong with the phone. And it might be minor, it might be major, but you really just have to take that into consideration, because we're the individuals buying the phone. We have the liability of the phone if we end up buying it. So walking away from a deal, don't sweat it. Some people will get mad at you, but it's just part of the industry. Like, you have no legal obligation to buy that phone. So if somebody's like saying, hey, like you need to buy this, like you told me, I reset the phone, be like, hey, sorry man, this wasn't as described. Just let them know, like, you told me one thing, but it isn't that way. Overall, just trust your gut. I guarantee it'll work for you guys in the long run. We hate to see returns, especially with a lot of us reselling on eBay. It'll just cause more trouble, and just not trusting your gut could cost you a lot of money in the long run. So with that said, I hope you guys like take those 3 tips into consideration. I know a lot of you are making that mistake, and I'm not like calling you out or on anything like that. Like, I made these mistakes in the beginning, and again, I created this channel, you guys know, to help you guys avoid these mistakes. So even just holding you guys accountable, I think, is the best option. That's why I created this video. Truly want you guys to recognize if you are making the mistake, no biggie. They're small fixes, but they will have a big impact. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you found value in it, definitely give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're not in the family, definitely hit that little subscription down below. The second link down below is the Phone Flipping Facebook group. So if you want to join, it's free to join. Just extra knowledge I shoot to you guys every single day. People answer questions, I still learn things from there every single day. So just answer the 3 questions, I'll accept you into the group. With that said, have a great Friday, go kill it this weekend everyone, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.